Hello everybody, in today's video I've got a dual commentary, and today I'm being joined by Brad Cottom, who's caught my attention from his OLL tutorials that he's been putting on YouTube. How's it going, Brad?
Not bad, Dan. How are you going?
I'm doing pretty good. Sorry it's taken a little bit to get this. I know the time zone difference between us is pretty good. You live in Australia, right?
Yeah, East Coast of Australia, New South Wales.
Nice. So yeah, what really got my attention was your OLL stuff. I mean, you've been a long time fan of mine, and I mean, you've been really active actually on my Facebook page. I think I sent you a puzzle too, didn't I once?
Yeah, the mirror blocks
Right, right.
and and crazy bag cubist stickers, which I've wanted for quite a while, which was good.
The stickers?
The center stickers
Yeah,
that
yeah.
come with the bug,
They rub off pretty easy though, eh?
but I got a few, so
Right. So let's talk about this OLL stuff, because I know a lot of people out there assume that I know full OLL, but I actually don't. I think a lot of people think that because, you know, I'm a 17-second solver, and most people who are know full OLL, but I don't, and it's because I struggle with learning them for some reason. And you really simplify this stuff. Can you maybe talk a little bit about your approach to your OLL series tutorials on your page?
and that was the trouble I had too when I first started learning them. It was like people would show a case, show the algorithm, and then do the algorithm, and then that was it. And then you have questions like, oh, how did you do it? Why did you do it? Why did you do this? What are the triggers? And I thought, rather than trying to learn off what they're trying to teach, I'll make a video on how I'd find it easier to learn, because some people are visual learners, some people are more theoretical learners, if
Yeah.
you could call it that, with the algorithm on the screen. And I thought, what would be the easiest way to learn an algorithm? And I thought, if I have the algorithm on screen and I do the algorithm slowly over and over and over a few times, it could cater for both the people who'd learn off an algorithm on the screen and for the people who are more visual learners, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
People who can follow along with the algorithm, if I do it 4 or 5 times, they can follow along and actually see what is happening and why it is happening and what to look for. And I think one OLL per video, rather than have 20 or 30 in a video, makes it easier for me, for people to learn. And for the feedback that I've got, people find it easier to learn that way.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's what I really like about your stuff too. Is you really narrow down the triggers. I mean, you talk about sledgehammers, you talk about soon, and all this kind. I mean, I guess the sexy move it's called. You know, the RU, R prime, U prime, and
Yeah.
and you really like you narrow this down. And I've never found algorithms online really. Like, I mean, I've searched around for a lot, but I've never found them that actually had the triggers in the brackets as accurately as you do. And you talk about a lot of the time, like, I'm starting to realize that algorithms, the OLLs aren't. I think the biggest part is that there's so many of them that people become overwhelmed. But when you break them down the way you do, you start to see so many same patterns in them. Like, you'll say, okay, well,
Yeah.
you know, you've got two brackets here. You've got four moves in a bracket, and then another set of brackets with another four moves. So all you're really doing is memorizing these two, you know, triggers, and then you've got a setup move. So you set up with F, and then you do, you know, say like a sexy move trigger, and then sledgehammer trigger, and then F prime to redo your setup move. So you really made it pretty good. Like, I mean, I've never seen it like that. So, you know, hats off to
And
you.
as you go along too, you'll find it once you've learnt that one or two or three algorithms, the algorithm will lead into another one, and then part of those two will make up another algorithm. So as you go along, it gets easier and easier and easier to learn, because a lot of them are basically the same, just little tiny variances between them.
I've noticed that too. Like, I forget which ones they are, but I mean, I've seen one where you did this algorithm, and you know, it did the certain case, and then later on you did another one, and it was a completely different algorithm. And then in a further video from that, you had said, okay, do you remember this one and this one? Well, it's just these two combined. That's all it is, and it's super
Yeah,
easy.
and it makes up another algorithm. I think the .oll turns into the runway if you change the R into a R wedge, and it leads into like three or four more if you just change between like take part of this one and part of this one, put them together, and you get a brand new one.
Right, and I like that you've put the actual case as your thumbnail too. That's what I like.
Yeah, so you can so people can see, go right. I need to learn that one. I need to learn that one because there's a lot of different names for the algorithm. So
Yeah.
rather than like run away and soon and Superman and a lot of people might not know what that means. So rather than just have the name, I'll just number them so they could follow along, and then have the thumbnail as the picture so they can go right. I need to learn this one or this one or this one.
Yeah, yeah, that's great, man. That's exactly. I mean, I have a community OLL thing on my Facebook page where everybody has gone on there and write their algorithm for the case that's on the picture, and then people thumb it up. I find that your cases are really, really good though, and I think it's even if they're not the best case, they're explained so well that it's just so easy to learn. That's what I like.
And that's a message, and that's another message I have for people to know that the cases that I've shown in the video are not the only cases for the algorithm. Like some people might find a different algorithm better for them, or better for their hands, or better for them to remember and do faster.
Right.
So there may be 5 or 6 good cases for a particular OLL.
But you can only show what you know. That's the thing. You can't go through all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So aside from the OLL stuff, oh, and by the way, everybody, the reason I'm talking about the OLL with him so much is because it's such a good job. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the description. If you are wanting to learn full OLL, this is the place to do it. But Brad, what other kind of puzzles do you solve? Like, do you just do speed solving, or what's your preference and stuff?
When I first started, it was mainly 3x3 because I started. My cousin bought me a $2 store cube, which turned badly. But I thought, yeah, I'll get in and learn the beginner's method. Then I went out and bought a Rubik's brand, and I thought, oh my god, this is amazing. And then after a couple of weeks, it turned not so good. And then I searched online, and my first cube was actually a stickless day in Zanchi.
Right.
And it absolutely blew my mind when I bought it. And then it just grew from there. Now I do 2x2, 3, 4, 5. Haven't got a 6x6. I do not speed solve, the bit larger ones. I do like 7x7. I've got the Mega Minx. I've recently bought, which I fell in love with, the Tomsy 4x4x6.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Which is absolutely amazing.
Great. How long have you been cubing for?
I've only been cubing actually for about 9 months.
How? And you've memorized?
I wish I thought.
Go ahead.
I was actually thinking when I first started that I wish I'd found cubing sooner. It's something that more people should get into.
Right. So you're saying that you've only been cubing for 9 months, and you've already gone through and memorized all the algorithms. You've memorized your PLLs too?
Yeah, I've memorized all the PLLs. That was after when I got down to an average about 40 seconds. I thought I'll set a goal for myself and learn 1 or 2 algorithms a day just to knock over all the OLL and PLL.
Right. Well, that's great, man. I mean, I wish I had the motivation to learn all the algorithms and stuff like that. I mean, I think if I concentrated more on speed cubing and not just like a whole range of cubing, but like I want to be faster at speed cubing too. There's obviously the desire to be faster. I need to be motivated more for it, I guess. I just love doing YouTube and cubing and puzzling and custom puzzles and speed cubing, all sorts of stuff. So I think it just branches. Go ahead.
I think my motivation was to learn just to say I know all the algorithms. So there was kind of an extra incentive there, was to set a goal for yourself and know that you want to complete it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, Brad, we're out of time here, but I really want to thank you for coming on my channel.
Thank you for having me, Dan.
Right, and for all you guys, I'll leave Brad's channel link in the description. If you guys want to learn those OLLs, go check it out and subscribe or do whatever you want to do. That'd be great, and I'll see you guys on my next video.